right. It is time, Scott. It is time. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
I'm going to drop some a little bit of knowledge on you. I'm going to ask you a question. I want to see how good you are in your historical trivia. What famous person said this quote? There's nothing certain except death and taxes. Come on, throw it out.
Benjamin Franklin.
That was actually a really good guess. That's correct. Holy cow.
Oh, really?
Good job. Found it.
All right.
All right. Wow, I did not expect that at all. Wow. Anyways, make sure to edit. When you edit this video, we do a little high five, a little clap in there. But, all right, yes. It actually was Benjamin Franklin, but he was wrong. There's actually three certainties. You got death, you got taxes, you got another episode of Pigskin Dynasty, your podcast for all things Dynasty, fantasy football, with a sprinkle of sports talk. I'm your host, I love Cinnamon Toast Crunch, a.k.a. Matt Trebek, a.k.a. Don Host de Leon, Matt Phillips. Alongside me, as always, is the inspiration to the Dos Equis commercial. He's the most interesting man in the world. The boogeyman looks underneath the bed for him. I'm talking about the unofficial fantasy guru, Scott Euler. What's up, Scott?
What's up, guys?
How you doing today? How was your week?
Oh, it's been a busy week. A lot of work.
A lot of work? Who do you repair the fence in the rain?
I had to help you repair a fence.
What? Yeah, that was fun.
Stole a piece of fence from Home Depot, too.
Allegedly. Anyway, so we have a good lineup today. We're going to do a little mock draft. 1 through 16. The draft's 4 days away.
Yep.
So we're going to do that. But I just want to give a shout out to Sean Lee out of Jacksonville, Florida. He tweeted us this suggestion for the show. And if you haven't, make sure you subscribe to us. We always like to listen to our fan base. We know we're nothing without the viewers. So
yep, absolutely. Anything
you want, just make sure you tweet at us. And we'll go over the show if we like it. With that being said, we're just going to start off the show with a segment that we like to do, where we talk about something that happens in the sports world that just made us say, what the? I'll start off first. All right, my what the is going to be in the world of MMA. There was a big fight Saturday night, Edson Barboza versus Kevin Lee on UFC Fight Night. The main card was stacked. The main event was amazing. Kevin Lee won in a TKO stoppage. But I want to talk about the Premier League fight. There was a big controversy on one of the Premier League fights versus Merab versus Ricky Simon. So Merab was controlling the fight nonstop. He was landing great combos, great kicks. And then Simon eventually got him into a mounted guillotine. And Merab had 40 seconds left until the end of the fight. This guy was tough. He decided not to tap. And he was just fighting through it. The ref was checking his arms, making sure he wasn't passed out. He was moving his arms, giving the refs a thumbs up. He was pumping his legs to put blood flow to him. And the round ended. And when Simon released his choke, the blood rushed to his head, and Merab passed out. As a result, the ref called the stoppage of the fight as a TKO stoppage to Simon. Merab should have won that fight, but the ref stopped the fight as a TKO because the man passed out, which is completely ridiculous because the man didn't tap. It was happening after the fight. The man got robbed. This is very aggravating. You're taught as an MMA fighter to tap when you want to quit. The man didn't tap. The man should have won that fight. So other than that, the fight was pretty stacked. I'm just looking to the ref, to you. I'm just like, what are you thinking? The man did not tap. I know your job is to protect the fighter, but the fighter will tap if he wanted to quit. Until then, UFC, I'm going to look at you, ref. I'm going to say, what the?
Getting into my what the for the week, I want to talk about the comments Rob Gronkowski had to say on Saturday. I'm sorry, guys. When asked if he was going to participate in the voluntary off-season workouts with the Patriots, Gronk said no. When asked why, he said, I've got dirt biking skills to work on. Guys, what is he thinking? Is he trying to get himself traded to the Browns? When asked on his status for the 2018 season, he said he's doing really great. I've been riding dirt bikes, training really hard. I can vroom vroom really good. I can ride a bike like no other, and my speed is up there. What the heck is going on with you, Gronk? When asked if he was still contemplating retirement, he says, it depends on how my racing goes today. I don't know about you guys, but the last time I saw a tight end on a bike was Kellen Winslow Jr. when he snapped his leg in a parking lot trying to do wheelies. Gronk, get off the bike. Go back to the Patriots. Put some work in. What the?
Thank you, Scott. That was What The, a segment we like to do to open up the show. We talk about something that said what the in our sports world. Don't forget to tweet us what the with your topics, and we might consider going over the show. Did Gronk at least do any sick tricks on this dirt bike or anything, Scott?
Oh, he was just at a podium.
He was at a podium?
Yeah, you see, there's pictures of him before time where he was sitting on a bike, like a little kid, vroom vroom on the bike. But
his voluntary workouts, man, he didn't have to go, but I can understand what you're doing. He's one of the franchise's players, so he should be a little bit more considerate. But anyways.
To add something on top, it said that the Patriots, next time they saw him, would see a freak-a-leak. Freak-a-leak.
Hashtag freak-a-leak.
That's a weird dude.
Anyways, okay, draft's a couple days away. Sean Lee wanted a mock draft. We're going to do a mock draft.
That's
no
right.
fantasy players. We're just going to do a mock draft. We go through 1 through 16. I got odds. You got even. We're going to do this. We're going to give each self 1 minute to just say why we picked that player, what the team needs, and we're going to pick our end. We accounted for some trades that we think that might happen. Honestly, though, this is just what we think. It's not a justification of what's going to happen. Honestly, we can't predict that. So, with the first overall pick, the Browns are on the clock. I'll start this show off. All right, so we all know the Browns had a great offseason. They got Jarvis Landry. They beefed up that defense a little bit. Okay? Josh Gordon re-signed. All right? They need a quarterback. They got Tyrod. Tyrod is not the answer. He's just a little fluffer. He's just there to kind of mend pieces together.
Bridge player.
He's a bridge player. Exactly. Good point. So I'm all in that they need a quarterback. They're going to draft a quarterback with this first overall pick. But just who? A lot of speculation with Josh Allen. They love his hand size. He has the biggest hand size in the draft. Something about the Browns, they like their hand size, which doesn't make sense. Jimmy G had one of the smallest hand sizes in his draft, and he's just signed a ridiculously huge contract. But I think the Browns aren't going to get cute. I think they're going to finally talk some sense in themselves. They're going to go with the consensus best quarterback, and that is Sam Darnold out of USC. So first pick on the clock, Browns select Sam Darnold out of USC. The Giants are on the clock.
That pick of Sam Darnold almost bucks the trend for the Browns. Get to the point where I expect them to do something stupid. Mm-hmm. Anyways, at the number 2 pick on the clock, Giants are going to stick and pick. I think the best thing for them to do is take a quarterback if they stay at 2 or trade down, accumulate more value. But unfortunately, that's not how I see this playing out. The Giants stay on the clock. They take Saquon Barkley at 2. They pair him with Odell Beckham on the outside, Evan Ingram in the tight end. That offense is going to be nasty for a year or two as long as Eli Manning is there. And it'll be fun for fantasy because they're just going to put up a lot of points. Pass the ball around, run it with Saquon. They can do everything. They just added Nate Solder on the offensive line. So, at number 2, sticking with Saquon, I wouldn't do it, but I understand that they think that they can win now, and that's where they go at number 2. So Jets are on the clock at 3.
All right. So look at the Jets. This is another team that depth really needs a franchise quarterback. So they sign McCown, and they get Bridgewater. But I still don't think that's the answer. I still think they pick a quarterback. Question who? So you got Rosen, got Mayfield, got Lamar Jackson, Mason Rudolph, Josh Allen. Who's the Jets going to pick? And my determination, I looked not entirely at skill set. I looked at the attitude and the skill set of just like their spunk. And as a result, with a 3rd overall pick, I believe Baker Mayfield, Oklahoma, is going to get picked. He brings the spunk and the skill set to turn that franchise around and, most importantly, handle that fan base in New York.
Modern day Joe Namath.
Exactly. So
that's about what we could expect out of him there. All right, so on the clock at number 4, the Browns could go a number of different ways. They got needs at defensive back. They could go early in terms of Ward. They could trade back. I still think that's probably the best opportunity. Take your quarterback at 1. Use this 4th pick to trade back. But I think there's a player on the board that would be huge for them to take here at 4, and that is Bradley Chubb, defensive end out of NC State. To pair him on the other side of Myles Garrett on that defense, the pass rush is the defensive back's best friend. So I think that would really help out the secondary of the Browns. And, they started off with Darnold. Now they add another premier pass rusher. And this franchise looks like it's headed in the right direction.
Hopefully. I know the Cleveland desperately wants some good things happening out of the Browns. All right, so you got the Broncos. As you tell my good friend Scott is a Broncos fan. So he's probably itching what I think. All right, a lot of people think Broncos might trade down.
I definitely think they're gonna do everything they can to try and trade down. As long as the value's there, they can find the right trade partner. If the board falls like this, I think that partner will be there. But for all intents and purposes, Matt, what are you gonna do at 5? You gonna accept my trade offer?
No, I'm not. I'm gonna be a little bit of a jerk. I'm gonna decline that trade offer because I think Broncos gonna have something else planned. All right. You're the 5th overall pick. I don't think they're going to pick quarterback. I think they pick quarterback, but I think they pick quarterback the 2nd round. Well, they try to trade back in the 1st, but they don't pick quarterback with the 5th overall pick. I think they lost Aqib Talib. They need that secondary. They got Case Keenum, which is a basis right now for a good quarterback. So I don't think they desperately need a quarterback. So I think they're going to replace Talib, try to make up for that loss in the secondary. I think they go Denzel Ward. I think that's going to definitely replace. He's a stud at that cornerback position. I think that'll be perfect for them. Then they maybe trade back in the 1st round, maybe get a Mason Rudolph, or maybe a Lamar Jackson. But Denzel Ward.
Right. Just touching on that a little bit, I feel like as a Broncos fan, I know I mocked him in there when we did that mock a couple weeks ago. But looking into it more, I really feel like they had moved on from Aqib Talib to give Bradley Roby a bigger role. So taking cornerback there at 5, I don't see the need or fit there. As a Broncos fan, at 5, draft board falls like this, I would like to see them take Josh Rosen. However, at 6, I have the Bills trading 12 and 22 to the Colts to get up to 6. They tried to trade with Broncos, but John Elway was being a jackass. And I got the Bills taking Josh Allen, trading up to 6 overall and taking Josh Allen. Big guy, put him into cold weather city. It's a fit. He's got the huge arm that could cut through, the cold weather, the wind that they're going to have up there in Buffalo. So that's why they favor Allen over Rosen.
I always thought Lamar Jackson would go to Buffalo. They let Tyrod Taylor 2.0.
See, I feel like they never really committed to Tyrod. They never really liked Tyrod, and Lamar Jackson's very similar to Tyrod. So typically when you have something that you've had that you didn't like, you'll go in the opposite direction. So I think they'll go with somebody with a bigger frame, with a big arm, and I have them taking Josh Allen.
All right, so Tampa Bay Buccaneers on the clock. They desperately need a running back. They lose Doug Martin. Jarquez Rogers is still on the roster, but he's not the answer that they need.
Peyton
Barber, that Scott was like loading up in our league. But on the purpose, I just had 2 people going here. I had Saquon or Goose. Guys, I can't say his name. I'm so sorry. Guys, Barkley went to the Giants, so I think when the 7th overall pick, Guys out of LSU goes to the Tampa Bay.
Yep, no, that's a great fantasy fit. I love it. For the Bucks, I do think that's a little bit early on Guys, so maybe they could trade down and still get him at the same thing. But for what we're doing, it's hard to make maneuvers within your mocks. At 8, I got the Bears on the clock. I think they could go offensive line or defensive secondary. For our Mac, I'm going to have them taking Quentin Nelson, put him on the offensive line, really shape that offensive line. I mean, Jordan Howard, you've had 1,300 rushing yards, the past 2 seasons. If you don't do it again with this offensive scheme and this offensive line that I'm building around you, they're building around you, you got something wrong with you.
I think Jordan Howard would be if Quentin Nelson goes there. I said Quentin Nelson was the rookie that I want to keep an eye on because he's a complete stud at that offensive line position. So I think Jordan Howard will be instantly get a boost. All right, so we got 49ers on the clock, the number 9 pick. So they're definitely going to beef up their defense. Okay, I can see people say they might get a receiver, but I don't think they're going to get a receiver at this point. I think they still have a shot to get Dez Bryant. So they're going to beef up the defense. I believe they go to either defensive end or they go linebacker. For purpose of our mock, I had them going Raquan Smith, linebacker out of Georgia. I think he's a complete stud. I think that's going to fill up their need at linebacker. Scott, what do you think?
No, that's right. Actually, with the Raiders pick at 10, I was hoping Roquan Smith would get down to 10, and I could take Roquan Smith for the Raiders. So, no, I really like that pick there with Roquan Smith. I think he's a really talented player, and no, that's a great pick. So with the Raiders at 10, I just got sniped with him. I feel like they could go a couple different ways here with Tremaine Edmonds or Minkah Fitzpatrick. For our mock, I'm going to go with Tremaine Edmonds. I think just having that guy opposite of Khalil Mack. And it's a philosophical thing for me where I really feel like if you get the pass rush right, your secondary gets benefited. Whereas if you don't have the pass rush, it don't matter who you have in the secondary because you can't cover all day. So I have them taking Tremaine Edmonds, pair him with Khalil Mack, and that secondary will get a boost as well.
I definitely like that. That's gonna be that defense is gonna be pretty nice. So I got Miami Dolphins on the clock with the 11th overall pick. So they lose Sue. Sue goes to the Los Angeles Rams. I wouldn't be surprised if they do pick defensive tackle to boost their rotation. But I feel the secondary is in more of a desperate need in Miami. So I wouldn't be surprised if they pick Micah Fitzpatrick or another safety or cornerback. But for the purpose of my mock, I think they're going to pick Derwin James out of Florida State. I think he's the for sure thing when it comes to the safety position. Reminds me of a Jalen Ramsey. We all know how good Jalen Ramsey is. In fact, Jalen Ramsey's been talking him up really good. So I believe Derwin James is going to be the next Hall of Fame safety, and I believe he goes with the Miami Dolphins, the 11th overall pick.
No, no, I think that's a good pick for them. They definitely need some help on the defensive side. I thought they might go Josh Rosen there since he's fallen in the draft. I'd be surprised if somebody at this point doesn't, trade up to try to acquire him at this point. So at 12, I got the Indianapolis Colts on the clock, and Marcus Davenport is, to me, the screaming value on the board for them. They already have their quarterbacks, so Rosen is in the need. I'm sure they'll probably listen to trade offers to slide down again if given the opportunity. But for purposes of our mock, I have them taking Marcus Davenport, defensive end.
Okay, cool. Washington Redskins, my rival out of the NFC East. So Kirk Cousins gone. Kirk Cousins goes to Minnesota. Alex Smith comes in, and everyone's talking so much game, but offensive line is still pretty weak. It's average in Washington, but the defense is more atrocious. They're definitely going to go defense. I see them beefing up that defensive line. They absolutely need a front interior to try to put any sort of pressure on the quarterback. So with the 13th overall pick, I can see them even go Daron Payne, but I definitely see them getting the best defensive tackle on the board. And at this point, I think it's Vita Vea out of Washington. Vita Vea out of Washington would be the 13th.
Nope, that's a great pick. As with the Packers on the clock at 14, I had him starred and highlighted and queued up, ready to pick him. But actually, given the way the draft has fallen out, I think there's another value on the board that is a better fit. That's Micah Fitzpatrick. Putting him at 14 with the Packers, that's a borderline steal. I do think at this point somebody is trying to move up to take Josh Rosen. He has fallen 14 picks. I would be surprised if at this point nobody's giving up multiple first round picks to move up to get Josh Rosen. So what are we doing at 15?
All right, so yeah, at this point, Josh Rosen's falling down the board. I see Cardinals as a definitely that needs to get a quarterback. They have Sam Bradford, but I believe he's ain't going to cut it. I believe he doesn't even make it through the whole season. We all know how his knees hold up. So I see them definitely going quarterback. So you have Josh Rosen on the board available. You have Josh Allen, Mason Rudolph. But I don't think they pick any of these people. I think the biggest shocker in draft day on Thursday night will be that the Arizona Cardinals at the 15th pick Lamar Jackson. And that's going to be the offense. It's going to tear that up. David Johnson, another Mohbak calling Lamar Jackson. I believe Lamar Jackson will be the quarterback that the Arizona Cardinals would choose. Mark my words, guys. Mark my words. 16th overall pick.
Wow. That's all I can say. Wow. Because I have Josh Rosen as my second best quarterback in this draft. So for him to fall this far.
Aaron Rodgers. It's something about UCLA.
Yep.
UCLA.
And I understand. I mean, what's the questions with Josh Rosen? Durability. What's the questions with Sam Bradford? Durability. So let's get another unstable, undurable guy and pair him behind Sam Bradford. I can understand a little bit of that thinking there. So at 16, for the Ravens, I was really hoping Geis would fall to them. I think they have a huge need at running back. Geis gets jumped early with the Bucs. So I think the Ravens here, they're probably looking to trading down, but I think the biggest need on their team, and it really goes with the way Joe Flacco likes to play, is to go after a tight end. I think the best tight end available in this draft is Dallas Goedert. I think this is a little bit early to take him, but it feels probably the biggest need on their team. So I have the Baltimore Ravens taking Dallas Goedert and pairing him with that offense, giving him Joe Flacco. I think he'll be a really good red zone threat day one when he walks into the building.
Joe Flacco loves his tight ends, but that was 1 through 16, ladies and gentlemen. That was our mock. Stay tuned for tomorrow. We get 17 to 32. But we got to sign off right now. Before we leave, though, I do want to give a shout out to Anthony Rogers and his podcast, Bra Listen. They gave us a shout out on their show. I'm going to return the favor. Bra Listen is a Black social and political podcast where they talk about certain injustices in the Black community. Definitely give them a check out on Facebook. It's Bra Listen. We'll put it in our credits so you guys know where it is. Until then, fans of Hooligans, my name is Matt Phillips. Follow me at mphillipsmcp.
And I'm Scott Euler, at Scott Euler, OYLER17.
Don't forget to tweet us at Dynasty Pigskin. Hashtag us at what the. Let us know what you think about our mock draft. Until then, stay tuned for the next episode. Appreciate all the listens. Don't forget to subscribe. Peace out.